Hello and welcome back to yet another video on the Alejandro Hernandez podcast. This is probably my most anticipated video I've been waiting to make since pretty much the Super Bowl of this past season. We are finally back. It's week 1 of the NFL season starting tonight. Eagles versus Cowboys. We are officially back in NFL season. And without further ado, let me get into this prediction of the week 1 slate. Starting out with the Eagles and Cowboys, I'm going to have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game, but I do believe the backdoor cover is available for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to have the Cowboys covering the spread, which is set at plus 8.5, and I'm going to have the Eagles winning the game. I think the Eagles get off to a very strong start in this game with Saquon Barkley running wild. I don't think the Cowboys have good enough of a run defense, even though Jerry wants to invest in the run defense. I don't think it's going to be good enough to stop this Eagles offensive line and Saquon Barkley from wrecking havoc in this game. I think the Eagles will control it through the first half and probably through midway through the third quarter, but then that's when the Eagles defense will kind of sit back, play some prevent defense, not try to give up any big plays, but that's when Dak Prescott is going to rack up a ton of yards, and they're going to attack the downfield with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I think George Pickens is the X factor in this game. If he can really take advantage of that weakness that the Eagles have at the cornerback 2 spot, then Dallas is in a really good position to throw for a lot of yards in this game and score some points. So I'd say the Cowboys do cover the spread at 8.5. They backdoor cover it. I think the Eagles will be in control of this game, probably up 10 to 14 points for the majority of the game. But late in the fourth quarter, Dallas will try to mount and come back, which is why I have them covering the spread, and I have the Eagles winning the game. Now, for tomorrow night's game, I'm going to have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil. I have the Chiefs winning this game and covering the spread, which is set at negative 3.5. I think the Chiefs are just better than the Chargers. They've owned the Chargers over the past couple of years, and I don't trust Justin Herbert in big games to perform. I don't think he will perform that well against this Chiefs defense in this matchup. I just think it's a bad matchup for the Chargers on offense. They don't really have many downfield threats, which is what Kansas City is vulnerable to, and I don't think they can play their tough style of running football against this Kansas City front. So I believe it's a good matchup for the Chiefs defense against the Chargers offense, and I love Patrick Mahomes in this spot. He's got weapons in Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce. They have a couple young receivers that are also going to get into the mix with Rashee Rice's absence. And I think Isaiah Pacheco gets back up to speed after he recovered from that fibula injury. So with all that being said, I have the Chiefs winning this game in Brazil and covering the spread. And now let's move on to the Sunday games, the Week 1 slate, on the 1 p.m. slate, I should say. Starting out with the first game, it's going to be the Falcons versus the Bucks. I'm going to have the Falcons actually upsetting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Although I'm very high on Tampa, I think they're going to reach the NFC Championship game this year. That doesn't mean they have to win Week 1. I'm actually really big on home underdogs this Week 1. I think underdogs are going to do pretty good this weekend. And that's why I'm going to pick the Falcons to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the past 6 games, the Falcons are 5-1 against Tampa. So I do believe that Raheem Morris, and last year was Kirk Cousins, but I do believe Raheem Morris and just the Falcons in general have a mental advantage over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since they've owned them the past couple of years. So that's why I like the Falcons in this matchup at home. I believe Michael Penix can light up that Tampa defense, which is why I'm going to pick the Falcons to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 1. Now let's move on to the second game on the Week 1 slate. It's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to have the Bengals winning this game and covering the spread. I know they have sucked in Week 1 games, but that just doesn't matter to me. I think Joe Burrow is going to be this year's league MVP, and he's going to put up some great numbers in this game. I believe Cleveland's pass defense is a little vulnerable. I don't think the Bengals are going to have much success running the ball against this Cleveland front, but passing the ball, I think they're going to have a lot of success. This game could be a shootout because Joe Flacco is a competent quarterback and he can throw for a ton of yards and he can punish that bad Cincinnati defense. So this score could definitely get into the high 20s, but I do believe the Bengals will win by at least a touchdown in this game, and I'm going to have them beating the Browns, covering the 5.5 spread. Now, the third game that's on the 1 p.m. slate is going to be the Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. This spread is pretty much even. I'd say the money line is pretty much even, dead even odds. It's a pick-em between the Colts and the Dolphins, and Tua is undefeated in Week 1 in his entire career, so that gives me, I think I lean Dolphins in this case. Tua is healthy at the moment. Devon Achane practiced this week, so he is healthy. Tyreek Hill is healthy. The whole Dolphins offense is healthy, and when the Dolphins offense is healthy, they put up a ton of points. So I trust that Tua is going to outscore Daniel Jones on the Colts side of things. I don't trust their offense at all with Daniel Jones at the helm. Their defense is pretty good, but I trust Tua in this spot. I trust the Dolphins to get the job done on the road. Give me the Miami Dolphins to beat the Indianapolis Colts in Week 1. Now for the fourth game, it's going to be the Jaguars versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to have the Jaguars winning this game at home. I trust Trevor Lawrence to light up this Panthers defense. Their defense is one of the worst defenses in the league, especially against the pass. J.C. Horn is going to shadow Brian Thomas Jr., but I think that Travis Hunter is going to have a big week one. It's his time to shine on offense. He's listed as a starting receiver as opposed to a benched cornerback 2 on the bench. So Travis Hunter will get more snaps on offense than on defense. He's going to be the X factor in this game. If Travis Hunter has a big week one, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Carolina Panthers and cover the -3.5 spread. I also trust that the Jacksonville defense will have more success at stopping Bryce Young than the Panthers defense will have at stopping Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to have the Jaguars beating the Panthers and covering the spread. Now, for the New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders, the Patriots are at home. It's the official start of the Mike Vrabel era. And I think that just on both sides of the ball, in the trenches on their offensive line of the New England Patriots, I think they can dominate that Raiders defensive line, especially because they just lost Christian Wilkins. So I think that the Patriots have the ability to bully the Raiders in the run game, which I believe they're going to abuse under Mike Vrabel. He's going to want to protect I wouldn't say protect, but he's going to want to have a run-centric offense with Drake May throwing off play action, throwing from clean pockets. He's not going to want Drake May to throw 30, 35 times a game. He's going to want to lean on the running game, and I believe New England will do this in this game and will have success doing that. And this Patriots defense had a ton of additions, and Mike Vrabel's defenses are always good when he's the head coach, so I trust him to kind of, I wouldn't say slow down Geno Smith, but they will contain him. And I think this is going to be a pretty low-scoring game within the high teens, low 20s, and I have New England winning this game and covering the spread, which is set at 2.5. So give me the Patriots at home to win week one against the Raiders and cover the spread. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Cardinals versus the Saints. The Saints are the worst team in the NFL. This is kind of a no-brainer pick. Give me the Arizona Cardinals to cover the touchdown spread. It's set at -6.5. Give me Arizona to cover the spread. Kyler Murray is good against bad teams. He puts up great numbers against bad teams. I expect James Conner to have a huge week one in the running game. And yeah, give me the Arizona Cardinals to probably blow out the New Orleans Saints. Even though it's New Orleans at home, it's Spencer Rattler, our quarterback. I think the Cardinals defense is good enough that they're going to create a couple turnovers on the Saints offense and dominate this game from start to finish. So give me the Cardinals and the points. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Steelers versus the Jets. This is one of my more confident picks of the week. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Jets and cover the spread, which is set at -2.5. I just think that Justin Fields is going to have a really rough week one against this Pittsburgh defense. It's going to be a long day for Jets fans. I think they're not going to be able to move the ball whatsoever on this Jets team. And I think it's going to be a pretty field goal game in my opinion. It's probably going to be between 16-9, 19-12. I think it's going to be around that type of score line in this game in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe Aaron Rodgers, as long as he performs as a game manager, doesn't turn the ball over, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to cruise to a victory against the New York Jets, led by their dominant defense. So give me the Steelers to win this game and for them to cover the spread at -2.5. Now for the next game, it's going to be my New York Giants against the Washington Commanders. Every fiber in my being wants me to have hope and wants me to pick the Giants to win this game, but I just can't bring myself to do it because I know deep down in my gut feeling, even if we outplay the Commanders, even if our defense has 5 sacks, even if Russell Wilson has a decent game, it's Jayden Daniels on the other side of the football that scares me. And I believe that Jayden Daniels, honestly, I see this game ending in a Washington walk-off field goal. I believe it's going to be a very back-and-forth game. The Giants might even be leading this game for a majority of the game. I think we get out to an early start. But the Commanders pulled off some crazy wins last season. I believe this week one is going to be another one of those games where they pull off a crazy win against a division rival. I believe the spread's a little bit disrespectful to the Giants. It's at -5.5 in favor of Washington. I am going to have the Giants covering the spread. And it's also noteworthy that Russell Wilson, last year as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, put up a great performance against the Commanders, put up 28 points through that late touchdown to Mike Williams. So I'm not counting out at all that the Commanders could be on upset alert this week against the Giants. I would love it if they won this week, but I just deep down in my gut don't think that they will, because I believe Jayden Daniels is one of, if not the best, clutch quarterback in the league currently. And I believe it's going to come down to a late game scenario, and the Commanders are going to find a way to win this game. So give me the Giants to cover the spread that's set at +5.5. Give me the Giants to cover that spread. I also expect a big game from Malik Neighbors, but give me the Giants to cover the spread, Washington to win the game. Now for the next game, let's move on to the 4:05 and 4:25 slate. And the first game that's going to happen is going to be the Denver Broncos between the Tennessee Titans. Give me the Broncos to cover the spread. They have one of, if not the top 3 defense in the NFL, facing against a number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward in his debut. This is always a rough spot for rookie quarterbacks when they get thrown into the fire week 1 against a great team. We saw it last year with Bo Nix when he got thrown into the fire against Seattle at Seattle week 1. The Seahawks won that game. Caleb Williams was one of the only rookies to win his opening game, but that was against the Titans. This year it's Cam Ward starting for the Tennessee Titans at Denver. That's one of the hardest environments to play in, especially for a rookie number 1 overall pick. So give me the Broncos to cover this spread. They're going to put up some points in that Tennessee defense, and their defense is also going to play a great game against Cam Ward. Probably have up to 5 sacks in this game, probably an interception or 2 as well. I think it'll be a rough outing for Cam Ward, and the Broncos win this game handedly. Give me the Broncos to win and cover the -8.5. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. I believe this is going to be one of my upsets of the week. I'm going to have the Seattle Seahawks beating the San Francisco 49ers at home as underdogs. I previously had the Falcons upsetting the Bucks at home as underdogs, and give me the Seattle Seahawks at home. I think the Seahawks in this game are going to catch a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people don't see the Seahawks coming at all this season. I've rarely seen people picking the Seahawks as a dark horse playoff team. I had them in the playoffs as the number 7 seed, and I think they're going to shock the 49ers this weekend. I wouldn't say shock. It's a pretty close spread. I believe it's 2.5 in favor of San Francisco, but a lot of people are picking the Niners to win this game. Give me the Seahawks. I believe their defense is going to have a great game containing Brock Purdy in that offense, and all they have to do is run the ball in the San Francisco defense. It's a very new defense. It's new personnel. Robert Saleh's first game back as a defensive coordinator. That defense can have growing pains to start off this season. I think the Seahawks are going to commit to running the ball on this defense. I expect a big game from Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and all Sam Darnold has to do is take care of the football, make a couple big throws, and the Seahawks have a perfect route to winning this game, which I believe they will do. So give me the Seahawks to win straight up as an underdog this weekend against the San Francisco 49ers. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. And this is probably the game of the week if it wasn't for the Bills versus the Ravens. And I'm going to have the Packers winning this game at home. I went back and forth with this game, either Lions winning this game or the Packers winning it. But then obviously Micah Parsons happened, and I believe that's a huge addition. And I believe the Lions losing both coordinators, losing their center this offseason to retirement, they're going to have some growing pains to start off this season. They have a very, very tough schedule. And I believe that this is a tough ask for Detroit to go to Lambeau week 1 and win. So I'm going to take the home team here, which is favored by -2.5. Give me the Packers -2.5 to win this game. And Jordan Love really just has to take care of the football. I believe they're going to lean on Josh Jacobs this game. He's going to have a big game, probably 100-plus yards and a touchdown. But Jordan Love, just take care of the football and make a couple big throws the same way I described for Sam Darnold. Just make a couple big throws, don't turn the ball over, and you will win this game versus the Detroit Lions. So give me the Packers to win and cover the -2.5. Now for the next game, it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Houston Texans. I originally had the Texans winning this game, but then I kind of backtracked on that because Matt Stafford does seem to be healthy, and that was my big concern as to why I was picking the Texans, because they have a great pass rush, and if Matthew Stafford wasn't 100%, then that would give me cause for concern. But Stafford looks healthy, and the Rams' weapons, they have Kyren Williams, Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua. That's good enough to win a game at home against the Texans. I think their defensive line is also going to cause havoc for that Texans offensive line. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, they're going to eat on that defensive line for the Rams versus this Texans offensive line, which is bottom 3 in the NFL. So yeah, with all that being said, I trust Matt Stafford at home to get the job done in week 1 versus the Houston Texans. Give me the Rams to win this game and cover the -2.5 spread. Now let's move on to Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens go to Buffalo to face off the Bills. I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills winning this game at home. I trust Josh Allen. I think this team is Super Bowl. Both of these teams are Super Bowl contenders, but I just trust Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson in this spot. And in terms of team matchups wise, I believe the Bills did get better this offseason, especially on their defense. They added Joey Bosa. They drafted Maxwell Harrison in the first round. And although he's not going to play the first 4 games of the season, I believe he's going to be a big factor to this secondary once he does come back. But as it goes for this game, I think the Ravens aren't capable of punishing the Bills' weak secondary at the moment because they're not really a throwing team. They're a run-first offense, and I believe the Bills invested in stopping the run this offseason by bringing in Joey Bosa. And they also re-signed Gregory Rousseau. They still have Ed Oliver. They have some great players in their front seven. I believe they're going to contain Derrick Henry in this game, and maybe I just think Lamar Jackson is going to make more mistakes than Josh Allen is in this game, the same way it occurred in the divisional round last year. So give me the Bills at home to get the job done against the Baltimore Ravens in a shootout. Give me Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, to take down the Ravens once again. So I have the Bills winning the game straight up. Now for Monday Night Football, this is going to be my upset of the week. I'm going to have the Chicago Bears beating the Minnesota Vikings at home. I trust Caleb Williams more than I trust J.J. McCarthy at this point. I believe this game is pretty much the Bears' Super Bowl. They're probably the most hype that has been generated around this Bears franchise for over a decade. And I think that they're going to win this game, and they're going to come out with a lot of energy as with Ben Johnson coaching his first game. This Bears team is going to be energized. They're going to be motivated, especially since they're underdogs at home on Monday Night Football. I expect Caleb Williams to have a great game to light up this Vikings defense, and I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think the Vikings can hang around, but this is going to be Caleb Williams' night, and give me the Bears to win at home as an underdog. I think the spread is +1.5. Give me the Bears to win straight up, and that is going to be it for my Week 1 predictions and for the Week 1 slate. I predicted against the spread and straight up, and that is going to be it for this video. And I will see you guys next time for when I recap how Week 1 went. And until then, I will see you guys next time.